start, from the start, hey, hey. Did you hear them sirens playing? Hear them sirens playing from the start, hey, hey. Hear them sirens playing from the start.
Hello everybody and welcome to the latest round of the Tasman Racing League's Road Series, here brought to you by Eskimo.com. It is round 8 from the Red Bull Ring here for 35 laps, the longest race actually in this second half of the season as far as laps are concerned. Just 2 weeks away now from that big finale at Bathurst, and it is going to be a big finale by the looks of the way this championship is setting up at the moment. Lewis Bahagia, the championship leader, not yet out of sight of the others. Does need to be pegged back tonight though, you'd say, if this championship is going to stay alive for a few more weeks. We'll wait and see, of course. Less than 3 minutes to go in qualifying. We'll be very shortly underway with the race, of course. Myself, Ewan O'Leary and John Wright bringing you commentary this afternoon on TrackSpotTV. Good to be back alongside you, John, for round number 8 here at the Red Bull Ring. A good track, I think, for this. Not too much GT3 racing has happened around here, actually, in its history, especially compared to some of the other racetracks that we've been to this season, like VIR, for example, earlier this season, Road Atlanta, some others as well. But I think it is a good racetrack. Lots of straights and lots of overtaking chances.
Yes, good evening everyone, good evening Ewan. Phenomenal to have you back in the commentary box, my man. Great to have you here. And yes, this track holds a special place in my heart. I absolutely adore the Red Bull Ring. The Austrian hills will be alive with the sound of overtakes and probably broken carbon fibre as well, the way the drivers may find themselves into the walls. But yeah, this one, as you say, not too much GT3 driving racing in its history, but certainly it is a phenomenal racetrack. And I am the world's best in an F4 round here on Raceroom. If anyone thinks they're better, come and have a go if you think you're quick enough. But that's... yeah, no, I absolutely love this course, Ewan, and I think we are going to be in for an absolute treat tonight.
It's a very specific claim to fame you've got there, by the way. About,
yes, it is. It's the only cars I can drive, the F4s. I can't drive anything else. F4s on Raceroom. I am the greatest. Come at me, bro.
I'd take it. Yeah, I would take it. But yeah, this is round number 8 of our championship. This is where we stand in terms of the championship now. Lewis Bahagia is leading by 40 points over Matt Webber. That gap extending again last week at Le Mans, with Webber finishing a little bit further down, though Bahagia didn't win. That went to Jeremy Newton. Oscar Dobbins and Tim Pattinson are still both in front of him. Outside the top 5, it got Nicholas Heath and then Tim Pattinson, sorry. Darren Justice is 7th in front of Carl Douglas, Martin Walker, Stephen Scully rounding out the top 10. Bit of a gap back to Ben Christian, even bigger gap back to Patrick Robinson, who's only just in front of the likes of Drew Collins, Samuel Maida, David Noden rounding out the top 15. Bradley Austin not far away either. Zach Vlutstra, Rafael Custodio, Shannon Corbett, Brody Daff, all rounding out the top 20. There's been a lot of drivers in this season participating, which has been great to see. 47 drivers have taken part in at least one race. 42 drivers have taken part in at least 2 races, by the way. It's been a very well attended season indeed, but you can see some of those down the bottom who have not been here so often in our championship this time around. It has been a great season though. We've only got 3 rounds to go. Next week is Road America and Bathurst is our finale, both 25 lap races to end off the season in the next couple of weeks. And you've got to say that if Lewis Bahagia is indeed going to lose this championship from here, which personally I don't see as likely, but it is still possible. The likes of Matt Webber, Oscar Dobbins, Tim Pattinson maybe, and Jeremy Newton and all the rest of them have got to try and gain some points here tonight. But let's have a look at the starting grid and see whether they can do it. Dobbins qualifies in front of Bahagia indeed on that front row here tonight from the Red Bull Ring, with Aidan Gretsch putting in a great lap to get to 3rd and Dean Wright in 4th place. Then it's Matt Webber in the number 1 car down in 5th place and Stephen Scully alongside him. Nicholas Heath and Martin Walker then on row 4 in front of Tim Pattinson and Rob Tilley, who rounds out the top 10. Already, by the way, over a second off of pole here. 11th has gone to Ronald Long, who's alongside Rafael Custodio in the all Mercedes row there. Jack Tovey and Jordan Nelson are next in front of Ben Christian, Zach Vlutstra. All Porsche, row 9 for Gato Douglas and Darren Justice. Jeremy Newton starting a long way back in 19th place in front of Damien Coates in 20th. Jay Stern, David Carney, Ryan Llewellyn and Eric Richter round out the 24-car field. I know that Ryan isn't Welsh, but his surname looks like a Welsh town. I don't know if anybody's pointed that out before. Just me,
yeah,
maybe.
Did back in the day on the Oval Series, yes. I've actually been to Llewellyn myself. I was on a holiday with my parents very close to there, so yes, I actually know it quite well.
There you go. My suspicions were correct. Dobbins, though, well, on the front, in front of Bahadur, and as I say, he's got to really finish ahead, I'd imagine, and probably win tonight if he's going to close the gap on Lewis Bahadur.
Yeah, he absolutely needs the win here. He had a rough ride of it last time out. Oh, there we go. We've got some engines out. So, yeah, he really does need to bring home the win. Bahadur with that 40-point gap. Finishing on the podium should be good enough to keep him the lead going into the final couple of rounds. So it's going to be extra spicy. I did sadly hear in the chat rumours that this might be Matt Webber's last race this season, which would be unfortunate because he is a fierce competitor, very quick indeed as well, and certainly one that's going to give Bahadur and Dobbins a run to the end of the season. So Matt, if this is your last race, thank you very much for taking part. The entertainment you've provided so far this season has been absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, very much looking forward to seeing what you can do here in the Austrian hills tonight. But as you say, Dobbins has got one job this week, and that is to win the race, bring home as many points as he can, Ewan, and yeah, hope that Bahadur somehow ends up further down the field, which is certainly a possibility around a track like this because it is a tricky one. We seem to have lost camera control. Bear with me a moment. There we go. And we're getting ourselves going. So we'll jump down to the track.
Yeah, get ready for the race start here. Still a few drivers to actually get themselves onto the grid at the moment in this rather long gridding phase. Oscar Dobbins has been sat there for a few moments here.
I think Bahadur's just disconnected from the server.
Oh, that would be terrible news for Lewis Bahadur. A gift really to Oscar Dobbins and some of the others who are trying to take this championship off him, but that will be very bad news for Lewis Bahadur. There's a few others who are still waiting to actually get onto the grid at the moment, which might just help him out. It certainly means that the race isn't going to start any earlier than it otherwise would do, but yeah, that would be terrible news, not least because obviously he'd have to start from the pit lane, but actually it'd be unlikely he'd be able to get in time to actually start at the race start. If you like, he will start from quite some distance. There he is, he's on the grid now, so gets away with a little bit of a scare there. It just took him 4 minutes to get onto the grid. Maybe he was fine, but anyway, I was disappeared again. So he's messing around with something at the moment, but he's on the front row alongside Dobbins. And as I say, this is an important race for Lewis Bahadur just to consolidate his lead. And I think the fact that Matt Webber isn't here for the remainder of the season, or might not be here for the rest of the season, will be a relief to him. However, it's been slightly strange the way that Matt Webber's not been as dominant as he has been, especially in those first 2 weeks where he was completely head and shoulders above the rest. That hasn't continued through the season.
Oh, it has not. Lewis Bahadur has worked absolute wonders in that Porsche. It looks like he's in a Mustang this time out, which is, yeah, an interesting choice around here because there are quite a few Porsches lining up on the grid, and we've got 3 of them have made it into the front 3 rows. So I did expect to see him out in the Porsche once again, but it looks like it is not to be. He's going to be out in the Mustang. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. I think it's going to be the first time this season that we've seen Webber and Bahadur in the same car. Of course, Dobbins has been in that beautiful looking Porsche for quite a few races now, and we've seen what he can do versus Bahadur in the Porsche. But yeah, Bahadur versus Webber, Mustang v Mustang. This could be a very, very, very interesting race indeed, if we ever get going. The drivers do seem to have been stalled ever so slightly. Not sure what the delay is. Bear with me a moment.
Yeah, a bit of a puzzling one at the moment. We've been gridding for 5.5 minutes now, which is quite a long time.
It is, yeah. Can't see anything in the chat regarding anything, so we'll pop up some race info for the moment. Of course, as well, huge thank you to series sponsor Eskimo.com. Make sure you get over to their website and help support the company that are supporting our beloved sim racing. They'll be sponsoring the replays as well as the series itself. So huge thanks to them for jumping on board, and we look forward to seeing them next season as well. We've got the new decals and things on the car with their liveries, which is very nice indeed. And there's Buhagiar back on the grid in his Mustang. I can hear engines revving. I think we might be close.
I'm still waiting with
here.
A couple of gaps there. Tim Pattinson and David Carney are not on the grid yet either. So a bit puzzling as to what's going on with this grid at the moment. It's nearly 7 minutes long now, this gridding process. So unsure as to quite what's going on at the moment. But there's Pattinson. Maybe Carney will be there in a second as well for us to get going. But still not everybody on the grid yet. And now we're going to get the lights. So just was a bit of a longer gridding phase, I think, than normal. As the lights come on now. Here from the Red Bull Ring, and it's a long hold on the lights, but we are underway, and that's not a very good start at all for Nicholas Heath in the McLaren in the midfield there. He's well avoided by those around him, but he's lost a heap of places. Buhagiar on the inside line of turn number 1 of Oscar Dobbins, and they're absolutely door to door coming out the turn, and Buhagiar gets the place. Nicely done on the exit of turn number 1, as in the background Adrian Gretsch is also closing on the two of them. He gets alongside Dobbins here. He's going to have to look sort of half defence, half attack, and there might have been contact there. Dobbins down the inside of Buhagiar. Very close to contact if there wasn't. Buhagiar able to hold on to that newly found race lead. He's taken away from the pole sitter.
He has indeed, yep, he's taken it away from the pole sitter. Lightning start by both of them, but it was a bit more lightning by Buhagiar. He had some quick restarts yesterday in the ovals, and he's got a quick start here today on the race series. Matt Webber with a good solid start as well. He's taken a position in the opening exchanges, but big shout to Zach Villeriestra. Absolutely not messing about on the start. Poor's doing poor things around here. He's made up 6 places already. Rob Tilley's dropped 7. I think he's had a bit of an incident. We'll come back and have a check on those, but the top 3 running absolutely line astern. It's Buhagiar, Dobbins and Adrian Gretsch, with Matt Webber half a second down. So Webber at the moment, he's had a good start, Ewan, and he's just on the back of this lead battle where the front 2 are about to go side by side through the final 2 corners potentially.
There's a look there from Dobbins, but he didn't go for it in the end over Buhagiar. Adrian Gretsch is in there as well as they come up towards the line here. A few gaps starting to appear a little bit further behind, but weaving from Buhagiar. Not sure whether that's for tyre temperature or just to try and prevent the Porsche in the background from getting his slipstream. Might be both, but that wasn't a very good run through turn 1 for Buhagiar. And here comes Oscar Dobbins now with the run he's got off the corner. He's going to hide behind that Mustang in the Porsche and head to the outside this time. Last time he tried the inside at turn 3. Maybe he will switch to the inside here late on the brakes. Porsche is good on the brakes, and he's alongside. Buhagiar's going to have to give him the room, but squeezes him to the apex just enough. Adrian Gretsch is going to try and get the run on the turn as well, and he might well have a go coming towards turn 4. He's probably too far away. It's more likely that Dobbins has another go here coming into the downhill off camber turn 4, and he does have another look. The pressure being heaped on the championship leader and the race leader Lewis Buhagiar at the moment is pretty severe in these first 2 laps.
It is indeed, yep, he's got an absolute battle on his hands, and no wonder Dobbins taking pole position by almost 3/10 of a second. And now finds himself 3/10 of a second behind the race leader, but he is not. He's got those teeth on the front of that car absolutely chomping at the tailpipe and rear spoiler of that Mustang as we're on board with Adrian Gretsch. Watch them coming into sector number 3. Oh, there's been more shuffling in the field as well. He's had another look up the inside, not able to get the car past though, and they're lurking ominously in the rear view mirror of Adrian Gretsch. That is one Matt closing in lap on lap Webber. He is getting very close indeed. Oh, Dean Wright's just picked up a slowdown penalty. It's all happening in the first couple of laps as Buhagiar sets a 1:31.1. Oh, it's only 3 laps in. That's wild.
It's the fastest lap of the race from Lewis Buhagiar, and by the way, I've done it again there. Matt Webber in 4th place there is lurking there or thereabouts. got past Dean Wright already, who's still got that slowdown to serve here. It's one of the features of the final 2 corners around this circuit, that you can get slowdown penalties very, very easily. He's now served that, but he's dropped nearly 2 seconds behind Webber. Scully is not that far behind him now as a result, as they'll come down towards turn 4. Just settling down a little bit. Oscar Dobbins has sort of let Bahagia get a bit comfortable at the front of the field here instead of continuing to apply the pressure. And yes, it does cost them a lot of time. And it, of course, opens Dobbins up to being overtaken by Adrian Gretsch as well. But it is notable here that he's decided to let Bahagia off the hook briefly here, and is not quite putting as much pressure on him as he was a short while ago.
Indeed, yeah. Whoa, that is not where Lewis Bahagia wanted to be. The Porsche is absolutely going to have a look up the inside of the penultimate corner here. He's made a bit of a mess of that one. He is going full defensive. He's taken that inside line himself. I tell you what, he's opened himself up here out with the last corner. This is going to be a straight run into turn number 1. No, but it's the Mustang got the mighty legs in a straight line that holds him off. I'll tell you what we'll do, actually. We'll get a quick look at the start. The replay sponsored, of course, by Eskimo.com. And there we go. So this is on the start. This is Oscar Dobbins that we're watching. It's not Dobbins that we were aiming for. It was Darren Justice, who's further down the field. So there we can see turn 1. There's always one, especially in a 24 car field. You're always going to have one little knock there, and one car facing sideways, that can really bring an end to a lot of people's races you in around here.
Yeah, just tried to go down the inside there quite over-ambitiously. It was Kyle Douglas who was spun round. But it already made a very good recovery, by the way, Kyle Douglas. Already back to 17th. He dropped to 24th with that spin there. So maybe there were some more incidents or whatever. Maybe he's just been making some good overtakes. But he's moving his way back through again after that spin. This is also on lap number 1, coming up towards turn 3 for Jay Stern. He goes a bit slowly through turn 3, but he's okay as they all filed their way through. Actually, no incidents towards turn 3 on the first lap, just a lot of caution show by everybody on the way in there. This is the second lap of the race as Nicholas Heath headed down the inside of one of the Porsches and makes contact, rather muscles his way through there. That's Zach Vlietstra he was with. Of course, Heath had that terrible start, that terrible launch off the line, and that meant that it means now that indeed that he's making up positions on guys he's probably quicker than. I've certainly shown in qualifying that he's quicker than, and he's got to try and do it a bit cleaner than that.
He does, yeah. Matt Webber laying down a marker. He's just set the fastest lap of the race on the back of Adrian Gretsch. So the Gretsch-Dobbins overtake has been put on the back burner for the moment. It's Webber v Gretsch and it's Dobbins still v Bahagia. And I tell you what, that's Adrian Gretsch just pulled over and he's let Matt Webber through. I think he's realised that that's a much quicker driver behind. It's better to pick your battles wisely. A little flash of the lights. He'll slip into the slipstream, but that is Matt Webber. Popped himself onto the podium. He's got 1.2 seconds to make up to the battle that we're witnessing up ahead, and it's Oscar Dobbins going for it up the inside of turn number 4. He finally gets the move done after 5 laps. Is it going to be a cutback on exit by the Mustang? No, it's not, and it is Oscar Dobbins retaking the lead of the race. I love Tasman Racing League. You just get some great battles out here, and Dobbins, that's a very nice overtake he's just pulled on Bahagia there.
Yeah, very important overtake as well. He's 64 points behind in the championship. It seems like a very long way, but in this championship with this point system, you can gain all that back in one race. Indeed, if he has a very bad one. I mean, some of the lower scoring drivers from last week's race, for example, scoring single figures and whatever. The win is over 100 points usually. So you can gain very, very quickly indeed. But Bahagia is just going to have a consistent final few weeks really, and he should be okay to take the title. This is a group a little bit further down. Such a quite a big gap in front of Tim Pattinson from 8th place, but below that not too many big gaps here. This is the group really stemming from 11th position at the moment. Only 5 laps complete, but there are some bigger gaps in the field. It does feel like the top 7 or so are a little bit stronger than the rest of the field here, and Nicholas Heath is trying to be part of it at the moment as well, as is Jeremy. Oh no! Contact on the straight, and Heath there came across on Newton, it seemed. Oh wow, and he was only just avoided there by Rafael Custodio in the Mercedes, who had to take avoiding action. That was big drama. Nicholas Heath has got a meatball flag, and it was on the straight where it happened. That was Newton and Heath coming together where they really shouldn't have done.
Yeah, no, making contact on the straight. The Cardinal sitting there, he did just seem to pull across the front of him, ends up spinning the car, pops him into the wall, meatball flag pops him into the pits, and that is going to be any top 10. Well, actually, no, it's not. We've still got 29 laps left to go, and it's the Red Bull Ring. He could easily get back out and get involved in the action up at the front, certainly in the top 10. Action up at the front, though, you can see since Matt Webber's got himself past Adrian Gretsch, he's got a 1.3 second gap, so the top three really are running in a bit of a rhythm. You do get a good oh no, we've got no rear camera on board with that, so we'll jump back to there and have a look. And Webber, wow, he's just on a 29.6, so he is the fastest driver on the track by just over half a second, which doesn't bode well for the two cars ahead of him. Again, if this is Matt Webber's last race in the series, he looks like he's going to try and go out with a bang, and that bang could be on the top spot. But as you've said, Ewan, as long as Bahadjer brings home a podium here, he should look good to hang on to the championship lead. But race wins, that is where the bragging rights come, and Webber certainly is an ever-present threat for these two up ahead.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Does look like the quickest driver in this field at the moment, to be honest. And it's just about making the overtakes now for him and working his way through as Rafael Custodio, fresh off only just avoiding Nicholas Heath there on the straight towards turn 3, is now side by side with Ben Christian. That's putting Custodio now behind where he qualified in 12th position. Ben Christian moving up another place, 3 places gained now for him as he moves into 12th. He pulls back in time just about for the racing line, in time for the double left-hander at turn 6. And that is a position for Christian now into the top half of the field, but Custodio did a good job of avoiding Nicholas Heath there. I don't know if you saw it in the background, but that was very, very close avoiding action. He just had to weave out the way, and he just about survived as Carl Douglas heads down the inside into 14th, ahead of Darren Justice as well, into those final couple of corners. Plenty of passes happening up and down the field.
Yes, we've got more going on with Scully as well, I believe. I think himself and is that Dean Wright? It is indeed one of the newer drivers in the series, Dean, and a great surname you've got there, Dean, exactly the same as mine, so extra camera time guaranteed. But yeah, certainly Scully, Wright and Walker, a little three-way battle going on here, much like the three-way battle we've got going on up at the front. Those three seem to have settled themselves into a rhythm. We've got Jeremy Newton trying to go past Tim Pattinson as well. Custodio, Douglas and Justice are still battling with Ben Christian, and Rob Tilley, who's dropped 7 places at the start, a missed. For some reason we don't have the incident that he got caught up in, unfortunately, but certainly he is making a charge back through the field. He's got Eric Richter ahead of him, and of course Rob Tilley is the man that makes the opening videos here, which are absolutely incredible. I'll get my little feet tapping. Oh, and here we go. Has he moved over and let him through? No, they're going to go side by side into the penultimate corner. Matt Webber now really putting a hurting on. Whoa, that is very close to the track limits here. And Oscar Dobbins, he can't believe his luck here, Ewan, because these two are leaving him to just run away with it. He is now a second ahead of them with only 2 tenths separating the two Mustangs. I did say it would be interesting to see how these two got on in the same machinery. Well, the sim racing gods have answered our prayer, and we're getting a front row seat to what is going to be an incredible battle for second position between these two.
Yeah, we certainly are. Now down into turn 3 again. The danger for these two is that they battle each other into a corner here and let Oscar Dobbins get too far away at the front of the field, but at the moment it seems that's not quite happening. It's only a second for Dobbins at the front of the field, but this battle's also not over. Bahadjer's definitely looking in his mirrors, and it's slowing him down as well. You see in that braking zone there, he was a little bit offline, and the gap grew to 1.4 seconds briefly up to Oscar Dobbins. So it's a gap that's going the wrong way as far as these two are concerned. So either Webber's got to get this pass done quickly and then focus on catching Oscar Dobbins, or he's got to let Bahadjer get on with this and focus forward. At the moment, it seems like he wants to just try and get past, and that does mean that he wouldn't have to deal with him again later, as opposed to working together where he would still be effectively putting the pass off for later. But, as I say, this is costing them time the longer this goes on at the front of the field.
It is, right, okay, sorry, yeah, Kyle Douglas is having a bit of a connection issue, that's why. So for anyone that's wondering if we're missing overtakes in the midfield, it's actually Douglas dropping in and out with the server, unfortunately. So it looks like he's being overtaken and then re-overtaken. As we can see there, he's not, he's just phasing in and out, and in fact, oh no, there he goes back in. Yeah, when we automatically go to the aerial shot, that means the car is no longer in the server. So yeah, Kyle Douglas having some connection issues here, hopefully not affecting the drivers around him. His connection really is not holding up well here at all. I wonder if he's got gale force winds as well, like you and I have got at the moment. Up at the front of the field though, is still that 1.2 second gap from Dobbins to the rest of the podium, and the rest of the podium separated by very little indeed. And again, oh, and he's lost the back end of the car there. He's going to have a lack of momentum going into 5 and 6. Is this the time that Webber gets the move done? It's not, and I tell you what, these drivers, that's one of the things about being this quick, Ewan. You have to be on the curves at all times, use as much of the track, but the edge of the curves is the edge of sanity, and you could potentially lose the back of the car like we saw behind you there. Just that little bit of a wiggle, and that's really closed the gap between him and Webber. It's now sitting at a constant 0.2 of a second, so an interesting battle going on here, but Dobbins is absolutely laughing all the way to the bank, they say. It's 1.7 seconds is now that gap. Another 1 minute 29. Oh no, it's a 1:29 for Dobbins and a 1:30 for Buhagiar and Webber. So there we can actually see the pace difference that is being caused by the battle that they're having. They're about a second a lap slower than Dobbins, and he is absolutely running away with it. Buhagiar might be regretting his choice of Mustang this week instead of the Porsche.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it, that he's decided to change car. He's just been able to wave off the attacks from Webber in these last few moments, but he's still losing time to Oscar Dobbins here as we approach 1/3 distance in this race, that middle third of the race where we normally see so many pit stops in this race. Unfortunately, we've already got very long ones for Ronald Long and Nicholas Heath in the pit lane at the moment. Rafael Custodio as well is in pit lane for quite some time, 20 seconds only for him, so you'll be hoping that will be enough to see him through to the end of this race, as it might well be. But we'll be around the halfway mark when we're seeing these guys come into the pit lane from the very front of the field, and there's no rush at all for them to come in at this stage as the leaders make their way through the final few corners again. A little bit less pressure for Buhagiar than what we've seen in the recent past. So maybe Webber has decided that it's better off letting Buhagiar get on with this and try and close the gap to Dobbins, or at least make sure it doesn't get too much larger.
Yeah, I would say that's not a bad strategy. Quell the battle here. Play the long game, basically. Get ourselves closer, although we're going to have to jump on board with Stephen Scully because he is looking very quick indeed. He's all over the back of Dean Wright, but certainly as we were saying, Buhagiar and Webber, that battle is absolutely slowing them down, and it looks like Matt Webber has fully recognised that, so he's backed off a bit from Buhagiar, trying to let him catch up to Dobbins. He'll then catch back up and look to try and take the lead if he can. Oh no, Kyle Douglas is having a connection issue. Oh, and that's a run wide. Oh, he's not picked up a yellow flag, which means he's slowed up enough, which means Martin Walker is now in the hunt with this one as well. So the Ferrari sandwiched by two Porsches down into turn number 4, and he is going to be under increasing pressure. There is Scully. Oh, he's just run a bit deep there into turn number 4. That's not what he needs to be doing. He needs to keep this one nice and neat. He was looking good for the overtake. He's now looking good to be overtaken. That is how quickly things can change at the Red Bull Ring, much like Jay Stern. Oh no, David Carney is out the race.
Oh, he's
wow,
in pit lane.
Few retirees, yeah.
Did he tow back to pit lane?
I think he did, yes.
Yeah, okay. He already started from pit lane, by the way, or at least it appeared like that on the timing chart. See how long his pit stop is. Yeah, it's going to go past 20 seconds here, and it's going to go on for a while. So, yeah, unfortunately for David Carney, maybe there's some trouble to look at there as well. But meantime, Team Wright just in front of Stephen Scully and Martin Walker. This is a battle for 5th place as well at the moment. Quite a train being formed in behind Team Wright at the moment. Scully gets a decent run out of turn number 1, but it's not seemingly closing really on the Porsche in 5th position. Scully isn't going to be able to get past here without a big lunge, and won't be able to do that either. The field really spreading apart now. This is one of the larger groups in the field actually for this 5th place.
Yeah, the Red Bull Ring, it can certainly separate the drivers. It's kind of like the Nürburgring or Spa. You need to be quick on every single apex to put together a quick lap. And certainly when you're battling, it's not easy to do that, and this field is indeed spreading out. And indeed, Webber's tactic of letting Buhagiar catch up to Dobbins doesn't seem to be working. Dobbins now 1.8 seconds up the road with Webber half a second behind, so he's closed up. Webber's closed up 3/10. Oh, as he runs wide. Walker almost gifted the overtake there, as Scully ahead of him, just run himself a bit deep. That's a couple of little mistakes we've seen from Scully, so he needs to keep that, start keeping that a little bit neater, or he will find himself ejected from 6th position, and it'll be Walker that sails his way through. And there we go, Matt Webber just setting the fastest lap, all 3 up at the front now in the 29.6s, with a slightly quicker 29.6 than anyone else at the moment. He's still 6/10 behind though, so still got this gap. Kyle Douglas is still phasing in and out of the server, so an interesting one for the drivers around him, but certainly the battle between these two Mustangs, it looks like it's getting reignited. Ewan. Webber maybe had enough of plan A, which was to let Buhagiar catch up, because he's not doing that at the moment, and Dobbins is now 1.9, in fact 2 seconds ahead as we head into turn number 5, with Webber only half a second back. So these Mustangs really need to get saddled up and galloping out of town, because Dobbins is doing exactly that. He is out of here and not looking back.
Yeah, indeed. As you say, Buhagiar has not been able to close his gap at all. I'm not sure whether it has been a conscious decision from Webber to let Buhagiar get on with it here or not, but if it was, then it hasn't worked, and well, if it wasn't, then Buhagiar's not been able to get any closer anyway. So Webber now might feel extra motivation to try and get through here. We're closing in on half distance, and the more laps that pass by, oh, that was a big slide from Buhagiar, and maybe this is a chance for Matt Webber, not in towards turn 1. That's not a big enough of a braking zone, but as long as he can get a good run out of here and on the way towards turn 3, he'll have a chance. That's wide from Buhagiar there. It looks like he's sort of taken an off track, sort of tactically there almost. It seemed that he knew he was going to get that off track, and he didn't mind that, as long as he was able to defend the position from Matt Webber, which he has done.
Indeed he has, yeah. A tactical use of the speed tokens. Oh, 2 completely different lines taken there, and the gap that extended through turn number 1 has been closed again through turn number 2. We've got a few cars coming into the pits as well, actually. Vliestra and Richter have both come in for pit stops just on the 15 lap mark, and 0.2 of a second now separates the podium, and it's another 0.2 of a second gone the way of Dobbins. He's now at 2.2. There we can see him already into turns 6 and 7 as these two Mustangs battle away for the scraps at the podium table. It's Dobbins with a good run. We'll see. Yeah, probably going to be beyond the halfway mark. We see these drivers coming in. Thank you. Oh, that's a car stationary on the side of the road. We'll check on who that is. That was Darren Justice, facing the wrong way. Interesting one here though, Ewan. Does Matt Webber try... Oh, and that is not the line that Buhagiar was looking for. Oh, that almost felt like a line out of Star Wars movie there. But certainly Webber could be encouraged to come into the pit sooner if he feels he can get the undercut and get ahead, and it would certainly be something that I would be thinking of at the moment, now that we're 16 laps into this.
Yeah, it will definitely be featuring his thinking at the moment. We're very close to halfway now, so you can pit and make it to the end from here. I mean, Adrian Gretsch from 4th place is in now. It's not like it's anybody sort of down the field having trouble who's in at the moment. This is top contenders in the top 5 in this race, so absolutely Webber might decide to come in. The problem for him is going to come when he rejoins, and we'll see where he comes out in relation to some of the others in the field. That there is a few gaps around, like the one in front of Jack Tovey, for example. The one, well, if you pair it up to Edge and Gretsch, he would be, I'd imagine, just in that gap between Rob Tilley and Jordan Nelson at the moment. So the problem for him comes when he sort of gets stuck behind someone who's even slower than Lewis Bahadja. Now, this circuit is not like it's not a difficult one in terms of overtaking, like some of the others we've seen. Oh, Bahadja's gone anyway. Bahadja's gone, and Webber is going to get a gift into second as the championship leader makes an error coming out of turn 7 towards turn 8. He got caught up on the curb there, did Lewis Bahadja, and it's dropped him down to third. Now he might well come in response to that. He's only just in front of Team Wright and Stephen Scully here. Team Wright will slip himself through into third. Bahadja just goes wide, gets up on the curbs, he slides, and he does graze the wall as well. Oh, he hits the wall quite hard there, secondary, as he hits one of the Marshall posts. He's got a bit of time there to reverse onto the racetrack and get back going again. But that is a costly error for the championship leader, who's now out of the podium places.
Indeed he is, yep. He is now down. Wow, he's come into the pits unsurprisingly. So yeah, carrying that damage, Bahadja has come into the pits, and that's exactly what Matt Webber was looking for. He either needed the overtake or to get a mistake from the driver ahead, and it was the mistake that he got. Kyle Douglas, a sort of double crash on the way out of the pit lane. I think he's lit those back tyres up on the exit, and he's had himself a couple of dents. He's picked up some damage on the pit exit, which is absolutely not ideal. Let's see where Bahadja comes back out. Back out in 9th place. So he's back out in 9th. Wow, what a turnaround that is. Suddenly it completely changes the landscape of things, and that might well make it a better decision for Webber, who's blue flagging past quite a few cars here. Dobbins is coming into the pit, so he's seen enough of the battle going on behind. Bang on. Oh, well, yeah, pretty much bang on the halfway mark. You can't really half 35 evenly, so yeah, but he's popped into the pits, and Webber is staying out. He is going for the overcut. The gap was 2.2 seconds between the top two when Webber came in, when Dobbins came in, so we'll see what it is when he comes back out, and we'll see where he is in comparison to Bahadja, who is currently returning to the scene of the crime. Let's see if PTSD keeps him off the curb. Right on the edge once again. He's just binned it there, Ewan, and he's already climbing back on the edge of the curbs. That is how committed to pulling off fast lap these drivers are. Bahadja throwing all caution to the wind now, it seems, to try and get himself back in a podium position, which he desperately needs. If he finishes outside the top 5, this makes it an interesting final 2 races if Dobbins brings home the win here.
Yeah, straight back to it there for Bahadja, and he's got to be here because rescuing a podium now has got to be his goal. Team Wright and Stephen Scully will be trying to take that off him here. They are in the podium places right now, but of course the pit stops have been taking place, both for Lewis Bahadja and for Oscar Dobbins as well, who maybe decided to come in based on the traffic that he saw just in front of him, but it did look quite thick. However, Webber, after getting past Darren Justice, which I think he has done now, has got quite some free track space in front of him. So it looked bad, but I think it was a temporary bit of pain there for a little bit of clean air. Now, to be fair to Dobbins, he's now in clean air as well. He's down the back of the field. Of course, it could have worked out worse, but he is now in clean air as well, down in 6th position, soon to be 5th position, as Stephen Scully comes into the pit lane on lap 18 as well. So looks like he wants to do something different to Dean Wright, who he's been stuck behind through this first half of the race.
Yeah, try and shake it up a bit. He's been stuck behind them. Pull into the pit, see what you can do from out there. Some good news for Bahadja. He has managed to get back out with the pits ahead of Adrian Gretsch. There you can see Gretsch just lurking in the background. So Bahadja should still be looking good for a podium potentially, although the driver staying out could well pop in some very quick laps and go for a monster undercut here. But Bahadja certainly, if anything, he will be delighted that Gretsch is still behind him. It means he's still in running for a podium. He is, of course, well down on Dobbins. You can see the gap there at 15 seconds. It was 2.2 seconds, so that just shows how much time Bahadur has lost to our net leader. We are going to declare Dobbins still the race leader at the moment, although Matt Webber doing everything he can to try and upset the apple cart there, and he does indeed come at the pits. So Matt Webber, 19 laps under his belt, he comes in to the pits, and he's going to have some fresh tyres towards the end of the race. Where is Oscar Dobbins? Oh, Damien Coates has just had a crash. He's just popped out of the wall. Looks like he's picked himself up big damage. Dean Wright and Jeremy Newton joining Matt Webber in the pits, and Oscar Dobbins absolutely flying towards the penultimate corners. Here he comes. Let's see where Webber is. He is still stationary as more cars join him in the pits. Dobbins is around the last corner. Matt Webber needs to be moving now. And he is. It's going to be an interesting one. In fact, we might even see Dobbins come through turn 1 here. Yes, we do. Haha, round the outside. Dobbins retakes the lead, and the gap, it's been halved. Webber has closed the gap by almost a second through that pit stop phase, Ewan. It's now down to 1.5. It was just over the 2.2 second mark, so he's taken about a third of the gap out with staying long, and that is something that Dobbins won't be overly pleased to see. Matt Webber, though, he is looking to, as I say, go out with a bang and potentially his final race of the season, and he has got the race lead firmly in his sights once again.
He has. He's only a second and a half behind now. It was those two in-laps there as he was on low fuel that have really helped him out here and given us a proper race in the final 15 laps. Adrian Gretsch has only just got himself back into fourth, by the way. Further down in that group, Lewis Bahadur's laps on the way out of the pit lane have been enough to see off any threats to his podium place for now. Gretsch, though, only just getting back in front of Jeremy Newton, who's made 14 places in this race. Don't know what happened to him in qualifying, but clearly his speed was not the answer. There must have been something else going on there. Maybe just couldn't get a lap together or whatever. But Newton is now in the top 5. He's ahead of Team Wright, Stephen Scully, Martin Walker, who've been fighting amongst themselves through this race. You can see everybody's made a pit stop now. We're over half distance. We're on the stretch for home. And we'll see how far Newton can get up the field here. Last week's winner, well, you'd expect him to at least be able to get up into 4th position. Newton is not too far away from that at all. What a great drive it's been from him to this point. It's by far the biggest mover forward in this race.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely heroic performance from Jeremy Newton. Absolutely no place near the pace in qualifying. Couldn't get a valid lap, I believe I read in the chat. There was a couple of drivers couldn't quite get a valid lap in, but Newton, he's certainly putting the valid laps in now. And I tell you what, Adrian Gretsch is under serious pressure. And when I say Adrian Gretsch, I actually mean Lewis Bahadur, because Jeremy Newton is on an absolute charge at the moment, and Bahadur has just cleared a slow down penalty. He picked it up unbelievably, I know, in the last 2 corners. Short corner at the Red Bull Ring. He managed to scrub it out with turn number 1, but that is going to cost him time. And I tell you what, Jeremy Newton is absolutely shifting in that Lamborghini. We might need to check his rev limiter to make sure it is actually legal, because that thing is absolutely moving at the moment compared to the 2 cars ahead. And I tell you, if he clears Adrian Gretsch, Lewis Bahadur's podium could well be in serious trouble here. Newton doing his best to help Dobbins and Webber catch up to Bahadur at the top of the standings, and this is an incredible little 3-way battle. And I'm actually, oh wow, look at that, Matt Webber, 1 minute 30.000, exactly 1.5 minutes to get round the track. There we go. Dobbins, though, did a 1 minute 29. Jeremy Newton in that Lamborghini really does like to get on those curves. He's going to enjoy staying in the slipstream, although Gretsch moving over slightly just to try and stop that slipstream addition to the pace that the Lamborghini carries into turn number 1. It's done him no good whatsoever, because Newton is now within 0.3 of a second, and if I was a betting man, Ewan, I'd have folding money on the next overtake we see to be Newton on Gretsch. No shade on Gretsch, but Newton, he is a man on fire at the minute.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think Newton is indeed the one who's going to be moving forward, and Lewis Bahadur's going to be very concerned if he does here. because he's got good speed, even compared to Bahadja. And that slowdown has brought the championship leader right into this group. Look at the dive, miles back, but Newton fires it down the inside of Adrian Gretsch here. It's going to put him on the outside for the next two left-handers, which is the problem. There's such a lunge there, and if this doesn't work, then this adds a new dynamic to the battle, because Gretsch might be expecting, even when he thinks Newton's too far back, he might be expecting a lunge like that, but it hasn't worked for Newton on this occasion. It was brave, but hasn't worked out for him this time.
Indeed, yeah, brave would certainly be one word. I'm not sure we can use the rest of them on the broadcast at this time of day. I'll check with the producer. Yeah, no, definitely can't. Oh, and he's looking very close. And as you say, that could well unsettle Gretsch and cause Gretsch to make a decision at the last corner where he ends up running wide, and the Lamborghini is now surely going to get this one done into turn one. The lack of momentum on the way out, and Gretsch has picked up a slowdown penalty as well. That is signed, sealed and delivered. If he can hold off Jeremy Newton here while scrubbing a slowdown penalty, it's going to be an absolute miracle. He doesn't manage to get rid of the penalty into turn number one and into turn number two, or that little right-handed kink. Not sure why that's registered as a full corner into turn number three, and Jeremy Newton looks like that better placed is paying good there. I don't think there would have been very high odds on it. As they both make a bit of a mistake through turn number three, and Gretsch is going to come straight back on down the hill. It's going to be his turn to have a lunge this time, Ewan.
Yeah, indeed. Side by side on the way towards turn four, and finally Newton is going to be clear, I think, here. It's cost him quite a few seconds, and that might just give Bahadja the gap that he needs to be safe now in third place. There's only 12 laps to go, and at a circuit like this, that's going to go by quicker than you might think. So Newton is up against it now, and as far as gaining any more places is concerned, but I'm not sure he needs very many more for a great drive. I mean, 15 places gained is 3 times more than anybody else. Darren Justice gained 5, and that's the next best. As I say, I do not know what happened to him in qualifying. Clearly something has gone wrong, but not with his speed, because last week's winner is on form this week as well, gaining so many places throughout this race. It's a really great drive. Yeah,
it really is. Like you say, 3 times as many overtakes as anyone else in the field. So yeah, qualifying did him dirty, but the race he has absolutely got the pace. He does now have 2.9 seconds to make up to Bahadja. So Bahadja getting the finger out and getting some pace. Found Gretsch staying in the slipstream. And talking about finding some pace, Matt Webber has entered the chat. He's also entered slipstream range of Oscar Dobbin. He's chipping away a tenth at a time here, and Dobbins is looking in his rear view mirror. He can see a Mustang once again, but it's not Lewis Bahadja's, it is Matt Webber's, and Webber is definitely the quicker of the two at this point in the race. He is going to have the fresher tyres, of course, with the later pit stop, so the advantage, you think, would be his. Dobbins has been absolutely solid so far, putting in some very quick and consistent laps. Bahadja is absolutely matching him at the moment, and we've got a potential overtake still. Dean Wright and Stephen Scully, they're going to go side by side as we head in the infield section. As the Ferrari goes up the inside, Porsche on the outside. Who is going to come out on top here? I think we are just about, yes indeed, Scully doesn't manage to get it done this time around, but certainly him and Dean Wright having quite the little battle there, and they're bringing Martin Walker back into this. So the three-way battle between these three continuing as they left it off before they came into the pits. And again, that is an interesting line taken by both drivers through the final corner, and Martin Walker certainly coming into very fine focus for these two drivers ahead of him, Ewan.
Yeah, absolutely. These three have been together for pretty much the whole race, really. They're now obviously all battling one position further behind because Jeremy Newton has teared through them all, but it's still a 6th place battle here. Dean Wright is still hanging on as well, as he has done for so long in this race. It's been remarkable from him, really. Stephen Scully is then 7th, and then it's Martin Walker who's next. Tim Pattinson probably just a bit too far away to really contribute now. 10 laps to go, and he's 4.5 seconds behind. But how can Scully break this deadlock? Because when you've been riding around like this, staring at the back of somebody's car for so long, it's very difficult to work out how to get the move done, as the guy in front has become so comfortable with with you in the mirrors that back there, just in behind you. So it's going to be very difficult, I think, now for Scully to work his way through, just because Wright has seen everything really, and he'll be feeling very comfortable as Webber gets what could be a very costly slowdown penalty.
Indeed, yeah, massively costly potentially, and he doesn't scrub it through turn number 1. The drivers don't like getting rid of the slowdowns through turn 1, and Bahadjar's just picked up a slowdown as well. Monkey C, Monkey Do, second and third both picking up drive-throughs. Now that definitely makes it better for Dobbins. Also Jeremy Newton is going to find that gap closed. Bahadjar does scrub it through turn number 1. A brave move there. Webber gets it done through turn number 3, but that gap now back to over 2 seconds. Oscar Dobbins will be able to stop sweating bullets for a millisecond or two. Oh, and I'll tell you what, Gretsch is not done with Jeremy Newton either. He got very close there into turn number 4, into Remus. Well, I'll tell you what, it did look like Jeremy Newton, Ewan, for all the world, was just going to absolutely run away after he got past Adrian Gretsch. But Gretsch, he's not keen on that idea. He can see 4th position, and he still fancies himself a go at this here because he's kept within half a second since that overtake. So for all of Jeremy Newton's pace, Adrian Gretsch is currently matching him apex over apex, and they're both more than matching Lewis Bahadjar. That gap to Bahadjar now down to 1.1 second. I mean, a blink of an eye here, Bahadjar could find himself suddenly down in 5th position. Needs to make sure he gets no more slowdown penalties or he is in real trouble here.
Yeah, indeed. Well, there's only 9 laps to go now for these guys at the front of the field. Newton bringing Gretsch along with him in this fight for 3rd place. I thought he would run out of time, Newton, to catch Bahadjar, but he is making inroads. So maybe there is indeed time for him to manage it. That group just behind these guys, by the way, between Wright and Scully and Walker, just splits apart a little bit here. Wonder whether we're going to see something here in terms of a battle between these guys. Bahadjar at the moment, let's imagine the race would stay as is, would lose only 9 points to Oscar Dobbins, so the gap would only be 55. Not mentioning Matt Webber because we have rumours that this might be his last race of the season and he might have to miss the final 2. But if that is the case, then Dobbins is our closest championship contender. He'd be 55 points behind going into the final 2 races. And as I mentioned, it's 100 points for a win, so anything can happen. But Oscar Dobbins very much holds the advantage in that battle if indeed this race stays as it is. Lewis Bahadjar, rather, very much holds that advantage if indeed it stays the way that it is.
Indeed, yeah, it's his advantage. Lucas Blake in the YouTube chat. Good evening. I keep going to say good morning because it is morning here, but good evening to everyone watching. Lucas Blake confirming that Oscar Dobbins is in the wrong split. I mean, what he said is Oscar would be the first AM driver to take an overall win if he can bring this one home. How he's in the AM, I mean, if he is an AM, I really am nowhere near, AM status. That's wild. He's considered an AM. He's logging 1 minute 29.6s around here, and he has got Webber and Bahadjar absolutely on skates at the moment with a 2.3 second gap. So that gap did close. Webber picked up a small slowdown penalty, and Dobbins massively picked up the pace with 7 laps to go. He's got a 2.3 second gap for which he will be absolutely delighted. And first AM driver to bring home a race win. That is going to be no mean feat, especially when you've got Webber and Bahadjar chasing you. He's taken pole position, and I believe he is currently the holder of the fastest lap. Oh no, he's not. Matt Webber is with a 129.5. Bahadjar and Dobbins both on 29.6s. So is Jeremy Newton. Has managed a 29.6 as well. Only 5 drivers managing to clock a lap quicker than 1 minute 30. Adrian Gretsch is in that gang as well with a 1 minute 29.8. So these top 5 really do hold a fair bit of pace over the rest of the field, and that's certainly playing out as Dobbins picks up a slow down. Oh, it's getting spicy.
Yeah, it certainly is. It seems that, I mean, I'm not sure, I haven't been keeping track, but I'm not sure how many people have actually avoided getting a slowdown at some point in this race now. There can't be many left. It's very, very easy to do round here, especially in these final 2 turns. There's no grass around there, and if you run slightly wide, it's the track extending really that will get you through there. And there are a couple of places where you can actually cut the inside as well, like turn 1 for example, although that curb on the inside is pretty nasty anyway. That's where you can really get these slowdowns. So Webber was taken out of the battle, and I would say out of contention for the race win when he had his own slowdown penalty. However, Matt Webber now is back into it because Dobbins had that slowdown. The gap's 0.6 of a second, and there's 6 laps still for him to work his way past.
Indeed there is, and they've got blue flag traffic just ahead of them as well. But how they make their way through the traffic is going to be absolutely vital to make sure they can get this one to the end. But you can see just how close he is, and there is said blue flag car just ahead of him. The battle box will reveal that it is Rob Tilley that is just ahead of him. Tilley down 5 places himself on the start of the race, currently running in 15th position. So that just goes to show you the pace the top 5 have got. They are now about to lap 15. Oh, and I tell you what, Dobbins did look like he ran a bit wide on that exit there. Has he picked up another slowdown penalty? No, he has not. Webber with the 1 minute 30.140 as he fires into turn number 1 once again. And I'll tell you what, Adrian Gretsch is looking absolutely on fire as well. Jeremy Newton seriously feeling the pressure. Love the sound of that Mercedes engine. Only 310 separating them. So Gretsch, I mean, for all the world at this point, Gretsch could well just be playing the lame duck. Playing possum, sorry, not lame duck. Playing possum. And just hanging behind Newton and looking for a dash on the last couple of laps. He maybe prefers to be the hunter rather than the hunted, because at the moment, when it comes to being the hunter, he is absolutely hanging in there. And that gap once again sitting about 2-3 of a second as they head into the braking zone. For turn number 3, through Remus we go, and Gretsch still absolutely hanging in there. So again, for all Newton's pace, Gretsch is more than keeping up with him at the moment, and keeping it to within half a second. This is the closest battle that we've got in the top 5 as Dobbins stretches the gap back up to 0.9 of a second. It is a grandstand finish that we are going to get here one way or another. Can Dobbins hold on for an arm win, or is Webber going to deny him that? And is Buhagiar going to be able to hold on to that third place? He's got 1.1 seconds now back to Newton and Gretsch. But we've seen the propensity for spins and slowdown penalties from all the drivers here today. So yeah, absolutely anything could happen in the final 4 laps. And certainly Adrian Gretsch and Jeremy Newton, if there's an overtake here, I would not be surprised. But Newton doing everything he can to back up last week's race win with a 4th position. Buhagiar's just on a 30.0, and Jeremy Newton has just set his fastest lap of the race with a low 29.6. He's only a couple of hundredths behind the fastest lap of the drivers ahead of him. So Buhagiar put on notice that the drivers behind still looking to take that podium position. It's going to be full concentration, and I imagine there is an entire arsenal of bullets being sweated out by the drivers in these positions at the moment, because there's Newton. He's breached the 1 second mark, Ewan. There's only 1.3 seconds now separating these 3 drivers that we've got on screen, with 4 laps left to go.
Yeah, it's building up to a crescendo at the moment. I just fear for Newton a little bit that he's going to run out of time for this. Lewis Buhagiar is going to fight hard when he gets there, and Newton still isn't there yet, with only 4 laps to go. Dobbins about to cross the line and receive 4 laps to go here. These guys obviously quite a way behind that now, but Newton might just, as I say, run out of a bit of time here to get himself past and into 3rd position. But let's see. He's been very quick and very efficient at making overtakes so far, so maybe this will just be another one of those. But into the final turn again, Buhagiar still in front of Jeremy Newton. Gap just under a second. 4 laps to go officially now as they cross the line. There you go, another 0.2 of a second, but Newton needs to be quicker than that, I feel. With 4 laps to go, 0.2 of lap's only going to get him there by the final lap, really, close enough to actually make that overtake. And unless he is able to make a sort of 1 attempt and 1 success overtake, which is going to be difficult to do over the championship leader, I think Newton still has to go a little bit quicker than what he's managed so far.
He does. Now, folks, apologies in advance. There might be some technical issues we are about to incur. If the stream does go dead, I can only apologise in advance. We are having some work done in my street. It's been an absolute nightmare, quite frankly, and I've just been messaged by a couple of my neighbours to say that their internet has gone off. So fingers crossed. We make it to the end of the race. I definitely need to get a new house someplace nice with decent internet and not constant roadwork. So yeah, if the stream does go down, huge apologies, but we are having some severe issues with internet and electricity, it seems. Oh yeah, their lights have gone off. Goodness me, this could be fun. We will crack on as if the world continues means to continue spinning. Hopefully we don't get any problems, because as you've alluded to there, it's coming to a crescendo yet. Whoa, and that is Matt Webber running. He's got to within 8/10 of a second, and he's just run it wide at turn number 1. He's had to quell his pace to avoid a slowdown penalty, but with 2 laps left to go, we've got 7/10 separating the top 2, and we've got 7/10 separating 3rd and 4th, and then 5th again. So this crescendo is absolutely on its way, Ewan.
Yeah, he absolutely could have done without that though, Webber, as he ran wide through turn number 1. Oscar Dobbins given a bit of breathing space there that he might well take to the end of this race now. 2.5 laps to go, and there is a bit of traffic in front, but how is that going to affect them? It's David Carney, who is just in front in 19th position. He's about to go 2 laps down, by the way, in this race, and Webber has got to try and capitalise on that. I think the leads are so close that Carney's going to try and let both through at once, but he's already slowed down Dommins a little bit through that second left-hander at turn 7. Now he might well pull out the way if he does. Yes, he does. So, but he doesn't get out the way for Webber, who's got to try and dive at the penultimate turn. It's not happened for him. Oh, he tried to get down the inside, and that might be the race, unless Dobbins makes a big error now. Webber has been slowed by David Carney there in the final couple of turns. Carney now pulls out the way on the front straight. He wanted to let one through one straight and then the other on the next, but unfortunately that has cost Webber a lot more time than it cost Oscar Dobbins, I should say, and that gap is 1.5 seconds now. That might well be the race.
Indeed, yeah, I did mention blue flags about 12 laps ago. Was it 8 laps ago or so? Something in that region. And yeah, that has certainly played a part there as Carney. Oh, Dean Wright picking up a slow. Newton and Lewis Buhagiar. 0.2 of a second. Newton is done with the battle with Gretsch. That's Dean Wright picking up another slowed down penalty. And Newton is absolutely picking up the pace with 1 lap to go. I thought it was Adrian Gretsch that was playing positive. Whoa, he thought about it there. He's almost lost the front of the car. On the way out of Remus, they've both survived there. More importantly for Newton, he survived that little wiggle as Buhagiar closed the door on him. But 0.2 of a second now, and Newton is looking to eject our championship leader from the podium, and he's going for a big send, and he's got it done. He loves getting that done through turn 5. He's got the inside line, and that is Jeremy Newton on the penultimate lap, Ewan, getting the overtake that I thought potentially was going to be Adrian Gretsch. But here comes Buhagiar straight back at him. Into 5 and 6, he holds the inside line. It's Newton on the outside. Who is going to hold this position here? This is a phenomenal battle between the two of them. Absolutely no quarter given nor asked by either driver. Newton on the inside curve. He's on a wiggle. They've made contact. Oh, and it's ejected them both from the race, and Gretsch is going to get himself a podium.
He is. Gretsch is going to capitalise brilliantly there. Lewis Buhagiar in the end is going to drop to 4th. Jeremy Newton, unfortunately, seeing some of his hard work undone, although it's still 14 places gained for him. Let's see it. Oh, it's happening over the other side of the hill there, over there. Yeah, Buhagiar actually was able to recover very well. To be fair, Newton didn't spend too long indeed getting back going again either. Let's see, yeah, Buhagiar loses a couple further points there with that incident with Jeremy Newton. Dean Wright had a chance to get past Newton as well as he approached on the scene quickly, but he's got a slow down penalty now, and so that will be the end of that. The lap car looks like it's cost Matt Webber here. Whether he would have got through anyway is it remains to be seen. I personally don't think he would have, but he will maybe look back at that as a key moment in this race. But anyway, Oscar Dobbins has deserved this victory. He's been on pole, of course, as we saw at the end of qualifying. He has dominated this race. He's led almost every lap, apart from the 2 that Matt Webber carried on to extend his stint a little bit further. That brought this race much closer than it otherwise would have been as well. But Dobbins is going to come through and take the victory here. Final couple of corners for him, and he's going to keep this championship alive. Is Oscar Dobbins round the final turn. He wins here at the Red Bull Ring in the Tasman Racing League Road Series, sponsored by Eskimo.com. Just a second in the end in front of Matt Webber, and he gains at least 10 points over Lewis Bahadur. The gap will be around 50 points now, you'd probably say, between the two championship contenders. Dobbins is keeping this championship alive, although the advantage still very much with Lewis Bahadur.
Yeah, great drive by Dobbins. Big shout out to Fran Dobbins in the chat, literally on the edge of my seat watching Oscar. We're on the edge of our seats as well, can absolutely assure you that. Bahadur comes across the line in fourth, with Adrian Gretsch bringing home the podium. Bahadur in fourth, Newton in fifth position. Dean Wright, after that slowdown, did manage to hang on. Scully, Walker, Pattinson and Christian rounding out the top 10 as the drivers flood across the line. But Oscar Dobbins parks it over beside the burger van, a well-deserved burger on the way for Dobbins, and a great win there for him as well. That's a phenomenal drive by Dobbins. As you say, Ewan, it's going to close that gap. It's certainly still advantage to Lewis Bahadur. Sorry, the technical things going on in the back end. There we go. So yeah, definitely still in the hands of Lewis Bahadur, but it's going to be hands that are going to be a little bit more sweaty going into the final two rounds, given the race that we've just seen here.
Yeah, indeed. As Jack Tovey completes the race. 12 cars ending up on the lead lap here tonight. Not the longest circuit in the world, so that's a pretty decent number, to be fair, to have on the lead lap here, as we take a look in a moment at the race results here tonight from the Red Bull Ring in round 8 of the TRL Road Series here this season. It is Oscar Dobbins who wins a second. The gap at the line in the end, and Matt Webber with Adrian Gretsch rounding off the podium. He took advantage of Lewis Bahadur and Jeremy Newton's tie-up on the penultimate lap there. Team Wright just outside the top 5 there, just in front of Stephen Scully, Martin Walker and Tim Pattinson, the last driver within a minute of the win. Ben Christian rounded out the top 10 in front of Darren Justice and Jack Tovey, who was just about on the lead lap. Rob Tilley was one lap down alongside Rafael Custodio, Jordan Nelson, who rounded out the top 15. Also one lap down, Zach Blutstra, Damien Coates and Jay Stern. David Carney and Ryan Llewellyn round out the top 20. Only one more driver actually finished this race. That was Cara Douglas. Eric Richter, Nicholas Heath and Ronald Long all retired from this race quite some time ago in the first half of this race. Let's have a chat, shall we, to Oscar Dobbins, the race winner here tonight from the TRL Road Series. Oscar, welcome in. Congratulations on taking the race victory tonight. Only 1 second at the line, and the gap was very rarely more than sort of 2 or 3. How did you sort of cope with the pressure, or did it not feel like too much pressure really being put on you as the race leader in that race?
Yeah, it's not too nice having Matt Webber right behind you for 50 minutes, but it was fun. It was good fun, good track. It's a difficult one, getting power down up the hill, but I think the Porsche did me well with that rear engine, just giving me a bit of a hand. But no, pretty happy overall. Didn't spin it out or bin it this week, so that's nice. And yeah, nice to get my first win. It's of course an important time as well in this championship, especially with Lewis Bahadur dropping a few points tonight to yourself, obviously because you've won the race. How do you feel about that championship gap now, which I think will be around 50 points between the two of you? How hopeful are you that you can close that further in the next 2 weeks? Yeah, I think there's still a bit of a skill gap between Matt and Lewis, and then me. I think they're both much better racers than I am, and to be honest, much more consistent, and I think that's going to pay off for them in the last few races. But I don't know, we'll see. It's definitely on the cards. You never know what happens.
Absolutely. So we'll see how the next few weeks go. But Oscar, thanks for chatting to us, and congratulations on taking the race win tonight at the Red Bull Ring.
Thank you, mate, and thank you both.
Thanks so much. Oscar Dobbins, the winner tonight from the Red Bull Ring, in front in the end of Matt Webber, who finishes in second place. Matt, it's good to have you with us as well. Second place for you tonight. There were a couple of moments in that race where you were sort of less than a second behind. You were very, very close to getting on for the race victory, and in the end, it didn't quite happen for you. Just talk us through how you're feeling after that race. Disappointed that you couldn't quite get to the victory, or pleased to be in second place?
Look, I'm happy with P2. I mean, I was hopeful to have a good race with Oscar in the end, but between some traffic that came up and just some, I mean, Oscar was fast, don't get me wrong. He had a really good race. I again, just typical, didn't qualify well. Last few races have been that way. You should have put it on pole, but didn't. It's like a rolling excuse at the moment. But yeah, congrats to Oscar. And then, I mean, I think Lewis must have just got a weird grip loss on that curb, and he just left the chat in front of me, and I went, shit, all right, but I have done that in practice, so I know what he's feeling there, because it just gets you by surprise, and you're basically a passenger. But look, it would have been nice. I did get up to about a second, or maybe even 0.6 to Oscar. It would have been good to race that way to the end, but I mean, I got that slowdown, and I followed Oscar the same. I don't know how he didn't get it, so I was waiting for him to slow down. I'm slowing down. Then next minute, it's back to 2 seconds, and then had some unfortunate traffic, and P2 for the tonight, and it'll have to do.
Yeah, the slowdowns were a feature of everybody's race in the end, though. I'm not sure how many there were who didn't actually get one by the end, actually. But just how difficult was that around here? We know about this circuit in a sense of its curbs, which are quite vicious. There's a lot of runoff here as well, but that obviously creates chances for slowdown penalties, which we saw plenty of, and we saw you get 1 or 2 as well. So how difficult was that to sort of thread your way through for the race?
Yeah, look, it's you can get 3 or 4 off tracks a lap here if you're not careful. I was very mindful of that, and I did try my best to stay in track limits most of the race. And it's only towards the end that I thought I'll have a bit of a crack to see if I can get up to Oscar, that I got probably 4 incident points, but I might have only had 9 in total. And I was actually thinking that could be a strategy, that if the front runners are really pushing and there's some argy-bargy going on, they might get to their 17 incident points and have to get a black flag. So that was always a possibility in the back of my mind, that I might get it across the line strategy wise if they get drive through. So, but yeah, this track's brutal for off tracks.
Absolutely. Congratulations on getting to second place. One question. We've been hearing rumours, Matt, about the fact this will be your last race. Are we going to see you in the next 2 weeks?
Look, I'm definitely not coming to next week. The only reason I'll probably go to Bathurst is just for the nostalgic side of it. But yeah, I'm pretty much done. So this could very well be my last race with TRL. Yes.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you again at Bathurst. But if not, thanks for a great season. Thanks for chatting to us.
Yeah. If I could just say thanks to Lucas and all the guys that did the stewarding and Matt behind the scenes. I mean, without them, we don't have a league. So hats off to them. And I really enjoyed my time here. And I hope I wish it the best success going forward.
Thanks very much for chatting to us as always, Matt. And congrats again on second place tonight. That is Matt Webber's second place. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Adrian Gretsch has joined us from third place, so we'll move down to fourth instead and speak to the championship leader, Lewis Bahadja, who joins us as well. Lewis, welcome in. Good to have you with us. Fourth place for yourself tonight. First of all, let's talk about the incident right at the very end there with yourself and Jeremy Newton. Just how did that all happen from your perspective very late on in that race?
Yeah, we're just racing. Looks like that curb has been mucking up a few people. It got me earlier in the race, and Jeremy just got on it and had a bit of a wobble, but it's all good. Only lost 1 position, and Jeremy's apologised, but he didn't need to. He didn't need to apologise. I hold nothing against him. It was just really tough with the update that just come out. So this whole track's changed, and everyone's practiced on the old track.
How do you feel about your championship margin now? We know that obviously Matt might not be here for the next 2 weeks, certainly for one of them, and Oscar will be, I think. The gap about 50 points. Are you comfortable with that gap with 2 races still to go?
It's a shame that Matt's not going to be here. I would love to see it have gone to the end, but I certainly won't say no to a couple of points. And that's what can you do? You just got to turn up and race your hardest and try your best.
Well, congrats on getting to fourth place tonight, Lewis, and retaining a fairly large championship lead going into the last 2 races. And thanks for chatting to us at the end of the race as well.
Thanks for that, fellas. Thanks for the broadcast.
Thanks very much, Lewis Bahadja. fourth place tonight at the Red Bull Ring in the TRL Road Series. John, it's been another good round of this championship. A close finish of just 1 second in the end between Dobbins and Webber, and great battles up and down the field all throughout tonight's race, actually. And we move on next week to Road America. This season really starting to wind down now, and we're only a couple of weeks away now from finding out the champion, and two great racetracks as well to end the season with in the next 2 weeks.
Indeed, yeah. Tasman Racing League never disappoints, and of course the Red Bull Ring certainly never disappoints either. As you say, battles up and down the field. It was on a knife edge right the way down to the end, and yeah, Dobbins bringing the home the first win. Some bad news for you though, Oscar. You're going to be in the pros next season, mate. Welcome to the big leagues. But yeah, Road America next week, another absolute classic track, one that has seen more than its fair share of GT3 racing, and I think we are going to see more than our fair share of GT3 racing when we go there next week, with Buhajar doing his best to hang on to this championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a very exciting next 2 weeks. We'll be live, of course, same time, same place on TrackSpotTV here with those final 2 weeks of the season. So make sure you join us for that. It should be a good couple of final weeks. Road America next week, Bathurst the week after. We'll be live same time, same place as always. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside John Wright here in the commentary box for this round of the Tasman Racing League Road Series, sponsored by Eskimo.com, of course. Big thanks to them for getting on board here this season. Make sure you join us again in 7 days' time, where we'll be back from Road America. But from all of us for now, from the Red Bull Ring, it's goodbye for now.